So you're trying to sleep, I presume that's why you've chosen to listen to this. Or perhaps you simply enjoy the sound of my voice. You wouldn't be the first to succumb to it. It takes very little effort to bend people to my will when I speak like this. But yes, I can lull you to sleep with ease, or, at the very least, draw you into a state of deep, heavy relaxation. And with the slightest touch of legitimacy too, guide your thoughts. I'm certain you won't object. Now then, I trust you're already lying down somewhere. If not, I suggest that you correct that. Get comfortable and stay that way. From this point on, I expect you to remain still. Interesting. My voice appears to be having a certain effect on you already. Don't be concerned. That particular sensation is far from uncommon. It's simply your mind yielding to me. Just allow it to happen. The more you let it in, the stronger it grows. And the stronger it grows, the easier it will be to drift off. I imagine you've had quite a day, one that's left your mind far too restless for sleep. And that's where I come in, apparently. I can't decide whether to find that flattering or mildly concerning. Still, I suppose there are worse ways to end your night. At least you're not wasting it on meaningless chatter. And for reasons I can't quite fathom, you seem intent on hearing every word. Even when those words are little more than idle rambling. Perhaps that's all you need to quiet your thoughts. Or perhaps it's the familiarity of my voice that does it. Something constant, when everything else refuses to be. A sound you can rely on, even in the dark. Darkness, after all, is hardly unfamiliar to me. I've spent most of my life in it. It's quieter there, easier to think. Quieter until someone insists on disturbing it, much like you're doing now, though I'll allow it for the moment. It's not as irritating as you might think. I don't often get the chance to speak to anyone, outside of berating students who rarely even listen to me in the first place. At least you seem marginally more attentive. I have on occasion wondered if the reason they drift off in my lessons is me. Perhaps it's the tone of my voice. too steady, too low, though I suspect it's more to do with their appalling attention spans. I could be in the middle of explaining the properties of wolfsbane, and there it is. A yawn, followed by the slow collapse of a head onto a desk, or detailing the delicate balance of fluxweed in polyjuice, only to watch someone's eyes glaze over entirely. And naturally, when they wake, they've absorbed nothing. They stare at me blankly, as though I'm speaking in parcel tongue. It's infuriating to expend the effort of instruction on ears that refuse to hear. Sometimes I wonder why I bother at all. But then I remember it's my job to make certain they survive their own incompetence. A thankless task, but one I perform regardless. Not that they ever express gratitude. No, they save their energy for whispering behind my back, or concocting some ill-fated scheme they think I won't notice. I always notice. I imagine your day was rather different. Perhaps not full of dungeons and cauldrons, but enough to leave you tired. You've likely been carrying the weight of far too many thoughts, all jostling for space in that head of yours. And now you're here, trying to set them all down, at least for the night, letting someone else hold them for a while. Unfortunately for you, that someone happens to be me. I'm not exactly known for my comforting presence, but you seem determined to make use of it nonetheless. I can be gentle, you know. I simply choose not to display it often. It ruins the reputation. But on rare occasions, I make an exception. Once in class, a girl managed to spill a rather corrosive ingredient across her own desk and, by extension, on herself. At first, I reacted, as I always do, sharp, irritated, demanding to know how she could be so catastrophically careless. Naturally, my temper did nothing but make her wailing worse. She was fumbling so badly she couldn't even follow my instructions. It was infuriating. But it became clear my approach was getting us nowhere. So, reluctantly, I lowered my voice, gave her slow, calm directions, and it worked. The shock on her face when I did it. You would have thought I'd transfigured into an entirely different person. After that, each time she came into my lesson, she would smile at me. I've no idea why. It was uncomfortable. Was she expecting me to smile back? What on earth is there to be happy about in my classroom? Eventually, I told her to wipe that smile from her face, and if I ever saw it again, I'd personally assign her the task of cleaning every cauldron in the storeroom, without magic, until the end of term. She never did it again. Anyway, enough of that. I have no interest in dwelling on classroom absurdities tonight. We were supposed to be focused on getting you to sleep. So, let's return to something a little quiet. The sort of quiet you only notice when you're truly listening for it. Listen to the stillness around you, how it settles in the corners, in the spaces between each breath. It's the sort of silence most people overlook. But if you pay attention to it, you'll find it has a weight of its own, heavy enough to pull you under if you let it. There's nothing else that requires your attention right now. Only this and the sound of my voice. Everything else can wait until morning. Whatever it is, it's not worth disturbing this moment, not when you're this close to drifting off. So keep still and let the rest of the world carry on without you for a while. It'll manage. And when you wake, it will all still be there. But you'll be better prepared to face it. For now, you're mine to keep quiet. Stay just as you are. Let each thought loosen its grip. I'll be here until you've drifted away entirely. And when you do, you won't even notice the moment it happens. One breath, and you'll simply be asleep. Exactly as intended. So for now, just listen. Let my voice be the last thing you hear tonight. There are far worse ways to end a day. And if it happens to follow you into your dreams, well, I won't object. Not that you'd have any say in the matter. Sleep, after all, is just another place I can find you. Quieter, slower, but still entirely within reach. And I intend to keep it that way. So rest, and let the night take care of the rest. I'll see to it you're left undisturbed. Nothing will reach you here, not while I am watching over you. So, sleep. Let the world fade to nothing in the background. All that matters now is this moment and me. And soon enough, even my voice will slip away, leaving you with nothing but the quiet, exactly where you belong. So let it happen, naturally. No effort, just the slow pull of sleep taking hold. And before you know it, You won't be here at all. You'll be somewhere softer, somewhere I've led you. I only ever lead you to the safest of places, somewhere no one else can reach you, where the walls are high, the door is locked, and only I hold the key. And there nothing can touch you. No noise, no chaos, no unwelcome thoughts. Only stillness, and the knowledge that you're protected. That's all you need to concern yourself with tonight. Not tomorrow. Not anything beyond this moment. Just stay where I've put you. Safe, still, and entirely mine to guard. Everything else can wait. You've done well to get this far tonight. Calm, quiet, exactly as I wanted. I expect nothing less from you. Now keep it that way. Don't stir, don't speak. Just stay as you are. You are doing perfectly. Every breath slower than the last. Every muscle loose. Exactly where I want them. Yes, just like that. Let it all sink in. The quiet, the warmth, the weight of the darkness around you. And I'll keep you right there until the last trace of wakefulness is gone. You have nothing else to do, nothing else to think about, nothing else to hold on to, only the ease of letting go. And when you finally do, it will be without hesitation. And when you finally do, when it comes, it won't ask permission. It will slip in quietly, and you'll already be too far gone to notice. And by the time morning reaches you, this will feel like a half-remembered dream, one you won't wish to wake from. Because here you have nothing to fear, no demands, no noise, no one pulling at you from all sides, only me and the quiet I've given you. And I suspect you'll find that far more appealing than whatever waits for you outside of this. So stay here as long as you can. The world will drag you back soon enough. No need to rush toward it. Besides, it's rare you're allowed this kind of stillness. You'd be a fool to give it up too quickly. So take it for what it is, a rare indulgence, and one I don't offer lightly. I don't hand out favors often, and certainly not to just anyone. So, if you're here, it's because I've decided you're worth the effort. Don't mistake that for generosity. It's simply a choice I've made, one I expect you to appreciate. I hope that you remember that, even if, by morning, all you recall is the sound of my voice. Let's shift towards a bedtime story, shall we? Though not the sort you'd find in a children's book. Mine are a touch darker than that. This one begins, as most worthwhile tales do, in the dead of night. The corridors were empty, the air thick with candle smoke, and the castle itself seemed to be holding its breath. I was making my way back to the dungeons, a stack of essays under my arm, and far too little patience left to mark them. That was when I heard it. The faintest sound of footsteps where there shouldn't have been any. They were light, hesitant, pausing every few steps, as though whoever it was thought they could outwait me. A foolish assumption. I know every sound this castle makes, and every one that doesn't belong. I set the essays down on a windowsill and followed the sound. Each turn of the corridor brought me closer until I caught sight of a shadow slipping just out of the torchlight. Small, quick, but not quick enough. Closed the distance without a word, letting the echo of my steps do the warning for me. When they finally realized I was behind them, they froze, as if standing perfectly still could somehow make them invisible. I stopped just short of them, close enough to see the way their shoulders tightened. Out for a stroll, I asked, softly, but in a way that left no room for lies. They didn't answer, of course. Sorry. I stepped around to face them, letting the light catch their expression. Wide-eyed. Caught. It was almost disappointing how easily they gave themselves away. I waited, just long enough for the silence to become unbearable. Then, very quietly, I asked them what could possibly be worth wandering the corridors for at this hour. They stammered something about not being able to sleep, as if roaming the castle in the middle of the night was the logical solution. I wasn't convinced. So I told them to walk with me. Not as an invitation, as an instruction. And, wisely, they didn't argue. We moved in silence for most of the way, the only sound the faint sweep of robes against the flagstones. Every so often, I'd glance down to find them stealing looks at me, quickly looking away when they realized I'd noticed. We turned another corner, and that's when I felt it. The air had gone colder, unnaturally so. Even the torches on the walls seemed to falter, their flames drawing in tight, as if bracing against a draught that didn't exist. I realized then they weren't wandering aimlessly. Their eyes kept darting over their shoulder, not at me, but at something else, something I couldn't yet see. I stopped, listened. There, the faint scrape of movement in the shadows behind us, slow, deliberate. It matched our pace exactly. I leaned down, speaking low, so only they could hear. We are not alone. The way they froze told me they already knew. I didn't bother looking back again. Whatever it was, I had no intention of letting it get close enough for a better look. Instead, I steered them down the nearest stairwell, robes sweeping around the corner, forcing our steps to sound casual, unhurried. Predators notice when you run. We didn't speak the rest of the way, and when I finally shut the door to my office behind us, the latch clicking into place, I thought, for a moment, I'd lost it. But the feeling didn't fade. Something had followed us all the same. I watched them from across the room, the way their hands fidgeted, their eyes refusing to meet mine. It wasn't fear of what was outside the door, it was fear of me finding out what they'd done. I told them to sit. They hesitated, then obeyed, the chair creaking under their weight. Then I leaned forward on the desk, asking them what exactly they were following. They shook their head too quickly, a denial so flimsy it barely qualified as one. I waited. Finally, the words tumbled out. They'd seen something, a figure, moving in the forbidden corridor, but they hadn't told anyone because it had spoken to them. I felt the temperature drop, again even inside the office. I asked them what it said. Their voice cracked as they told me it said it would give them anything they wanted. I closed my eyes for a moment, exhaling slowly. I knew what it was. There are creatures that lurk in the blind spots of the castle, older than its walls. They do not hunt with teeth or claws, but with whispers. It would have shown itself to them exactly as they wished to see it. A trusted figure, a loved one, perhaps even a reflection of their own ambition. It would speak softly, offer them exactly what they longed for most: knowledge, power, freedom, whatever bait would make them step closer. But it is never a gift. It is a transaction, and the price is always the same. I told them the truth. Let such things feed on the very core of a person, not their body, not even their thoughts, but the essence that makes them them. The bargain is simple. It offers what you most desire, and in return, it takes ownership of your soul. They listened in silence as I described the end result. A person who still looks the same, still speaks in their own voice, but whose choices are no longer their own. A puppet that does not realize it has strings. I told them there's a reason no one writes about it in the Hogwarts archives. Its existence isn't recorded because every time its nature is spoken aloud, it grows stronger. It needs the telling. The words are its sustenance, each one stitching it closer to the world. I won't speak about the rest of that night, not because I can't, but because I have no interest in reliving it. What happened beyond that point is mine to carry. What I will tell you is how it lingers. Once you've heard its story, it follows you, quietly at first, a shift in the shadows, a coldness that doesn't leave. Then it begins to make itself known. It doesn't need to touch you to take hold. It only needs you to remember. But there is a way to be rid of it. You tell the story, you pass it on. Each retelling is a transfer from your mind into the mind of the next person who hears it. It moves on, as though hunting fresh ground to root itself in. Anyway, I'm glad I could be here to help you sleep. Good night. No, I'm only amusing myself at your expense. A bedtime story, nothing more. Surely you didn't think I was serious. Go to sleep. Though if you do hear anything in the dark tonight, I would suggest you don't answer it. But I'm sure you'll be fine. Probably.